Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our 2013 NFC Wildcard Playoff Preview presented by Fair Market Fantasy between the New Orleans Saints and the Philadelphia Eagles. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Saints. This week versus the Philadelphia Eagles, I believe the Saints can have some success in a running game, utilizing two backs in the backfield, showing influence with a deep tailback while getting the football to Darren Sproles on a slight end around. I'm going to show you what we're talking about. We're going to run a power play with Sproles lined up here. We're going to get him the football coming back strong side, but we're going to fake the run play here, weak side with the tailback. So you have two tailbacks in the backfield showing a bunch set. So that right there shows the defense that, hey, this may be a pass. We know how much the Saints love to utilize Darren Sproles in the passing game. So let's block this thing up to show you what we're talking about. We're going to have the tight end. His job is to block down on his 5 technique, try to kick this guy down, wash him down the rest of the way. And we're going to have this offensive tackle's job is to lead up and get that backer. Why? Because we're pulling the guard, and his job is to kick out that linebacker. Boom, this guy's going to get upfield. You kick him out. That way you create the hole on the inside. Now what we're doing with the center, base block on the nose, get him blocked. That's always important. Tackle is going to block the 5 technique. And what we're doing with the inside receiver, we're leading him up in the hole to try to get the linebacker block. This could be a tight end as well, or a bigger wide receiver to try to get up in that line of scrimmage to get to that second level and get this guy blocked. And we're pulling the backside guard. His job is to lead around in the hole and hopefully block the first rep, which could be this free safety or this cornerback. We're faking the handoff here and short motion before the snap. And we're bringing Sproles around. Breeze opens up, shows the illusion of the play action fake here, but he's handing the ball off to Sproles, who's following the pulling guard to daylight. Top of the bunch, going to try to block that free safety, so we leave the corner out. He's away from the play. But this is a way they can influence the linebackers to go this way with the play action fake, opening up, trying to hand that ball off to the tailback, but you're really giving it to Sproles coming around, following the pulling guard, following the kick out block of the play side guard, getting that linebacker out the way and hopefully run into daylight. That's one way they can utilize his speed on the perimeter and also use influence to try to get the Eagles going away from where you're going with the football. I think that's how they can generate a big play in a running game this week versus Philadelphia. The New Orleans Saints will also try to spread out the Philadelphia Eagles defense, so it's imperative that they communicate in the secondary. I'm going to show you one staple that the Saints love to run in which the Eagles can communicate effectively and be in better position to make a play on the ball. Simple concept the Saints love to run. Guys out in the flat, try to attack your flat, try to attack with a post. They also try to have the backside defender doing a post as well in the back just in case. He's going to check and then release. Then you have the crossing route by the tight end. So they try to attack you in every quadrant of the field. So what Philadelphia has to do to communicate, you look at this corner, he's going to be on the outside shoulder of the wide receiver. His job is to get a good bump, ride, and if he sees this guy attacking the flat, that's his job to peel off and attack this guy right here. Now for this backer, his job is to wall off this inside route right here, this post. And as he sees this guy, let's say this guy is running an in route. If he sees this guy is breaking in, he now closes in on that in route. So he's getting depth, playing the inside of this route right here until it passes off to the safety. Sees the guy coming across, he peels off and gets the crosser now. You have the middle linebacker dropping back, getting his depth. And his job right off the bat, sees his back coming up, play the inside back. He's passing the tight end off. Now it's the guy that has got his depth on the weak side, sees his tight end, he's peeling off as well. On the outside, you have the cornerback riding the outside of this dig route, and once this guy cuts in, it's now the free safety's job. And if this guy continues to attack the flat area, this cornerback that had just passed off the in route to the safety will now close down and take care of this route right here. So you see where simple communication is in effect for Philadelphia. Passing guys off, being able to communicate, guys threaten your area, it's now your job to take that guy, just as this one. Guys threaten your flat area, you peel off, take that guy as well. So if they're communicating well back there in the secondary, they can have a lot of success in slowing down Drew Brees in that passing game, which would then allow their front 3 and front 4, maybe depending on how many people they plan to send, to get pressure back there. But they have to communicate, they have to be in better position, and they cannot turn their backs to Drew Brees. Otherwise, the back shoulder throw will be available throughout the course of the game. The key for the Philadelphia Eagles this week versus the New Orleans Saints is to spread out that defense and attack those zone coverage responsibilities of that defense. I'm showing you how spacing gives the Eagles an advantage this week versus New Orleans. So what we're going to do, you see what the alignment is of the wide receivers. We're going to put these guys at the bottom of the numbers. So they're at the bottom of the numbers. So now that expands the cornerbacks and takes them essentially out of the play, because we're going to work the inside box area, I like to call. So what we're going to do with these outside guys that are on the bottom of the numbers, one, we're going to send them on the post. Send these guys on double post, trying to pull those safeties out of the way. So now you're taking the cornerbacks out the game and the safeties out of the play. So now you're going to really work the front seven where you have the advantage. And we're in a shotgun set, but we have the running back just offset a little bit behind Nick Foles. And what we're going to do with the tailback, we're swinging him opposite of the formation. What that can do is, one, pull these linebackers, or pull at least one linebacker out of the way. Now the wing back we have in this formation, which could be a tight end or a speedy wide receiver, what we're going to do is shoot him right down the middle of the field. You see where that can cause a problem for the free safety. Now he has to make a choice. Do I help out on the skinny post right here? Do I help out on the split route right here? Same rules apply with this safety. He's now in a two-way go, whether or not he's going to play either the post or the split route. So you have the safeties occupied, you have the corners occupied. You just swung the back out in the backfield opposite of the formation. So now this linebacker is out of the way. And what you're doing, the wingback on the strong side is going to show, he's going to show block first. In case this guy comes, it's his job to pick him up. This guy doesn't come, he drops back in coverage. Guess who releases out on the crossing route? So now you not only have your built-in hot read and your big play opportunities, you also have your safety valve as well. Once this guy clears out, this guy is replacing where he just left, and that's where you can get the football to him and hopefully generate a big play in the passing game. Again, spacing causes a lot of problems, and if the Eagles are able to spread out that Saints defense and widen out their coverage responsibilities, I believe they can have a lot of success in the passing game. This week versus the New Orleans Saints, the Philadelphia Eagles will try to spread the field. So I believe the Saints have to match up with their 3-3-5 look, and I think if they could take away one of the slot offensive players, I think they could have some success. Now, most teams are right-handed, so we're going to try to take away this slot receiver right here by trying to bracket him in combo coverage, basically a banjo coverage between the slot receiver and the running back. So what we're going to do, we have the safety line close to the line of scrimmage to try to get that good bump right there. Once this guy releases, you have 5 yards, take full advantage, get that bump, and then drop into a short zone. You're riding him on the outside, and if this guy releases, guess who's in position now to play the back to his side? This guy right here, the safety. So he has to get this bump, throw off the timing of the slot receiver, because we also have the middle linebacker job is to play the inside. So that's how we're creating the banjo. So if this guy goes outside, it's now the middle linebacker's job to take his place. If this guy continues to go down the field and this guy doesn't release this, now you have a combo coverage. You have a guy playing outside and a guy playing inside. So that's how we're going to take away one slot defender. Now, pressure-wise, you're sending your 5 techniques on the outside. We're sending double B-gap pressure with those 2 inside linebackers shooting the B-gap. So now you're sending 4 guys in pressure, 5 with the nose tackle that's trying to get good push on that center, and we're manned up everywhere else on the outside with the free safety playing deep down the field to help out any one of the defenders that needs help. So that's how the Saints can utilize that 3-3-5 set to get pressure on the quarterback by sending 2 linebackers, giving the illusion that everyone's coming and it is man coverage, but you're really playing banjo coverage on the slot defender to the right side as well as the back if he leaves out the backfield. So I think that's how this week versus the Eagles, the Saints can have some success defensively.
Now here are some coaching points for both teams in this ball game. For New Orleans, they can't get outflanked defensively. Philadelphia puts a lot of pressure on your perimeter defense, and if you get outflanked, they can hit the end zone quickly. And you want to minimize Roman Harper's coverage responsibility. This is a guy that's excellent in the box, near the line of scrimmage, blitzing off the edge, but you put him out there in coverage and he's a liability. You want to limit that unless you want to give up a big play to the Eagles passing game. You have to establish the running game very early versus Philadelphia. Shrink this ball game. It's about possessions. It's about maximizing them. So you have to establish a run if you want to be successful on the road. And for Philadelphia in this ball game, tight end play is going to be crucial to team success. They have 2 excellent options in Zach Ertz and also Brent Selleck. And I think with the Saints limited in the secondary without Kenny Vaccaro back there, those 2 guys can have some big-time impact in this ball game. And Nick Foles has to improve his pocket presence. He can't falter with the quick sight of pressure. He has to be able to step up into the pocket and deliver an accurate pass over the middle of the field or down the sideline. And you have to get physical with those Saints wide receivers. That'll just throw off the timing of the passing game and allow your pressure to get back there to Drew Brees to get him on the ground. The X factor in this ballgame for New Orleans will be their defensive line. They don't actually have to blitz a lot versus Philadelphia. They do a great job with getting pressure with their front three. So Cameron Jordan, Akeem Hicks, those guys have to be able to get pressure and collapse that pocket versus Nick Foles. And the X factor in this ballgame for Philadelphia will be cornerback Brandon Boykin. I believe this is the most underrated cornerback in the game right now. And I also believe he can be a big-time nuisance to that Saints offense, whether it's coming off the edge as a blitzer or being effective in slot coverage. This guy will have to have a huge game in order for that Eagles defense to have any type of success. Now, here are some in-game adjustments that you want to watch for in this ball game for the Saints. How often will Rob Ryan, the defensive coordinator, alternate his fronts? A lot of times you may see a 30 front, you may see a 4-3, you may even see a traditional 50 front from the Saints defense. They have to stay multiple if they want to slow down Philadelphia. And the Saints have to play excellent special teams, which is why I believe punting to Deshaun Jackson will also be something you want to look out for. Whether or not they sky kick it or kick it out of bounds or just kick it away from him, they have to decide how they're going to bottle up their biggest playmaker in the special teams department. And how can they calm the pressure on the outside if Teron Armstead is struggling like he did 2 weeks ago? He played a very good game last week versus Tampa Bay, but if he's struggling this game versus Philadelphia, do they run weak side? Do they try to run the screen game to his side? How will they calm the pressure will ultimately decide how well they play in this football game. And for Philadelphia, you want to keep an eye on how they adjust if the Saints are able to get pressure on Nick Foles and he's struggling back there in the pocket. Do they move the pocket for him? Maybe go to their boot, waggle, or even sprint out package? That's something you want to watch for throughout the course of this ball game. And also, how often will they go with man or zone versus Drew Brees? If they're able to stop the run and the Saints are in a total one-dimensional mode, do they go with more man coverage or do they stay in zone coverage throughout the course of the ball game and try to keep everything in front of them? And for Darren Sproles, when he lines up as a receiver, who's going to cover him? Do you put a linebacker out there or a safety or a cornerback? That's why I believe also Brandon Boykin will play that huge impact in this game, like I mentioned in the X Factor segment. In 2006, the Saints played the Philadelphia Eagles in the divisional playoff in the Superdome, and after Sheldon Brown separated Reggie Bush's soul from his body, the Saints put the ball in the belly of Deuce McAllister 21 times, and he rushed for over 140 yards, leading the Saints to a 27-24 victory. In the 1992 wildcard playoffs, the Eagles played the Saints, and the Eagles were down 17-7 at halftime, 20-10 entering the fourth quarter, and Randall Cunningham and that offense got into gear, started firing passes left and right, and that defense put the clamps on that Saints offense, and they were able to cap off the outstanding comeback, probably the greatest comeback in Eagles team history, 36-20. I like New Orleans in this ballgame. Defensively, I think the Saints are stout enough to slow down what the Eagles bring to the table. Offensively, they can get pressure without blitzing. Their front three can do a great job in collapsing that pocket and forcing Nick Foles to get rid of that football quickly. So I think the Saints defense will be the reason why they move on to the divisional round by knocking off Philadelphia. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Saints fan forums and Eagle fan forums for always showing football game plan support. And just because the regular season has ended doesn't mean you have to stop playing fantasy football. Thanks to our friends at Fair Market Fantasy for their 2014 NFL playoff promotion. You can visit the website at fairmarketfantasy.com to sign up.